What's up, party people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 173 and season 5, episode 35 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 173rd time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow criminals, lowlifes, hoodlums, scumbags, heathens, shady characters, scoundrels, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, wise guys, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper, gangsters, cheats, fienders with abusive language, degenerates, let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us. One of us, gooba gobba, one of us, we accepted one of us. Sorry, sometimes I get a little carried away there. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner and ring that bell. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word's also very easy. Just tell other degenerates and scumbags you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you directly to my page so you can get dialed into everything I drop on you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. This is all that's left. 2 more Stoniecasts. This one and one on Sunday to close out the season. The books, they don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. It's what I do. I'm an outlier and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene.
I go to the mattresses every single week and I get the info for you in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts.
Give me all you got. Listen, give me all you got.
Love it. Absolutely love it. The Final Four is a couple days away. And during the week, this week, we've had what I like to call the other tournaments. Last night was the semifinals of the NIT, better known as the Not Invited tournament. And tomorrow night is the finals. The College Basketball Crown Tournament, a new one, tipped off on Monday with 4 games. 4 more last night, more tonight, and tomorrow, with the semifinals on Saturday and the finals on Sunday. But here's the kicker. These college basketball crown games were starting to disappear from sports books in a lot of states over the last few days. The reason? Can you guess what the reason is? It's because the prize that these schools are playing for is $500,000 in NIL money that goes to the school. That means, according to many state laws, that wagering cannot be allowed because they're playing for a purse. Explain to me how this is different than a college getting paid by bowl games. If you make the Rose Bowl, your school gets paid and the players don't. If you win the College Basketball Crown Tournament, your school gets $500K in NIL money. So it's not going to the players now. It will next year. But because of this, degenerates like us weren't allowed to bet in certain states. Now, that being said, here in Tennessee, I was allowed to get down. And I've been getting down because this week is the last week of the season for me until August. So I just hope you're in one of the states that allows it so you can continue your degenerative behavior this week, Josh. Baseball season is here. And the talk of the first week of baseball season so far has been the torpedo bats after the Yankees used theirs to light up the Brewers over the weekend. They're not illegal, and I don't understand what the big deal is. The reason it's a big deal is that it's the Yankees. And the media is the way the media is. They report the news every time Aaron Judge goes and takes a shit. Right? It's out of control. Yankees, Lakers, Cowboys. They're the most overhyped teams because of their brands. The media and the MLB need to do anything to get people's eyes off the complete embarrassment of the A's playing in Sacramento. Sure, there's 2 MLB teams playing in minor league parks this year, but Tampa doesn't have a choice. Instead, the A's continue to embarrass themselves by playing for 3 years in a city that doesn't really want them. And as for the torpedo bats that are improving offenses and runs, you want to know the best way to stop the Yankees and other teams from hitting home runs? Pitch better. It's that freaking simple, people. Now, the Final Four is here. And I'm elated with how it's turned out, right? I touched on this in Stoniecast 172, that the Cinderellas and the upsets that people look forward to didn't happen. And for only the second time ever, all 4 number 1 seeds won their regionals, are now in the Final Four. The only reason people like the upsets is for bracket guy. You filled out your bracket. And you want to tell everybody about your bracket. Well, I had this upset and I had that upset. I don't give a shit. I'm betting games individually and I'm winning. Winning. That's what I got to do next year, is get the Charlie Sheen sound blast. Winning. Now, the average fan loves the upsets, right? But ratings go down when that happens. Like 2 years ago, when Florida Atlantic and San Diego State were in the Final Four. Nobody wants to watch that. Smaller schools after the first weekend, forget about it, right? What people want to see, and what I've been shouting from the rooftops for years, is the big dogs. I want to see the best players from the best schools play for a national championship before they move on to the NBA and I lose track of them, because to me, the NBA just doesn't matter. Yeah, I said it. It just doesn't. You want me to comment on the Stephen A. Smith versus LeBron beef? I won't. Can't stand either one of them, and I don't know, or most importantly, don't care what happened to tip it all off. I think it's just the NBA creating a story during the last week of the NCAA season, because the ratings right now show that the NCAA is burying the NBA. As for the Final Four, hey, Florida trailed for the majority of their matchup in the Elite Eight before taking out Texas Tech in the waning minutes, but the others weren't challenged. Duke hammered Alabama, Houston did the same to Tennessee, and Auburn wore down Michigan State. These 4 teams have probably 12 to 15 guys that are going to be in the NBA very, very soon. Big players step up in the moment. And to quote the immortal Roy McAvoy, when a defining moment comes along, you either define the moment or the moment defines you. Yeah, guys like Cooper Flagg, Janai Broom, Walter Clayton Jr., L.J. Cryer, and many others are all showing up and showing out right now, and it's been a hell of a lot more entertaining than it would have been if 2 10 seeds were in San Antonio this weekend. As for the week that was, these numbers are just for last week and not the current week that I'm in right now. All right, I'll get to those in a second. In the other tournaments, I was just fine and went 4-2. Right? In the NCAA, it's, I had a good Thursday and Friday on sides going 5-3, but 0-4 on Saturday and Sunday in the Elite Eight dropped me for the week to 5-7 on sides. That's not good, right? The only favorite that I had in the Elite Eight was Florida, and they were the only favorite that didn't cover. I took 3 dogs and got burned by all 3 chalk. Hey, not good at all. Totals, though, I went 3-1 in the Elite Eight to close out the week. 8-4 in totals. Right? So let's take a peek at the numbers. Last week, 17 wins, 13 losses. 56.66%. Another winning week, but certainly not a great one. Other tournaments so far, up till now, I'm 19 up and 10 down. 65.52%. These are just fantastic numbers, right? NCAA sides, 36 wins, 27 losses, and 1 push. 57.14%. That 0-4 really dropped my numbers. And NCAA totals, 36 wins, 27 losses, and 1 push. Also 57.14%. Which is frightening that I've hit the exact same number of games on sides and totals so far. It's crazy. So overall, all 34 Stoniecasts that I've delivered to you this year, 1,538 wins, 1,104 losses, 28 pushes, 58.21%. Numbers this good can mean only one thing.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Yes, pay him. That's right, Teddy. Now, please remember that all these picks are 100% free. So for all the touts out there that are giving you 75 to 80% winners, come on, Brent Musburger. We all know you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks.
Oh!
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? With me, all you got to do is come to YouTube every time, and I'll drop my plays on you for free. All right? Now, this week, the last 2 days of this week, so far we've had 2 days of other tournaments, and after going 2-1 on Monday, I dropped the hammer last night and delivered to the tune of 5-1, with only Tulane costing me a perfect 6-0. It's okay, though, because last time I checked, 7-2 on the week ain't too bad. All right, you ready? Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Let's go. Episode 35.
Just win, baby.
That's right, Al. You tell him. Before I get to the Final Four, here's some other tournaments going on tonight. 7 Eastern in America's Playground of Las Vegas, Nevada on Fox Sports 1. In the College Basketball Crown Tournament, Boise State is 8.5-point favorite over Butler, and the total is 154.5. Boise's rolling right now, and I just have no confidence in the Bulldogs. So I'm going to roll with Boise State minus 8.5 and over 154.5. A half hour after game one, the second one goes at 9:30 Eastern on FS1. And Nebraska's 9.5-point chalk over Georgetown, and the total set at 152.5. No confidence in either side here. Forces me to take the dog. Nebraska wins, but I'm on Georgetown right here, catching 9.5 and under 152.5. 2 more college basketball crown matchups go tomorrow. And the first one is at 7 Eastern on FS1. And Cincinnati's a 6.5-point favorite versus Central Florida, and the total's 152.5. Both schools look good in their opening round wins, but Cincy was dominant. I'll take the Bearcats here, laying 6.5, and roll with under 152.5. Game 2 of the CBC tournament goes tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern on FS1 as Villanova's 5.5-point favorite versus Southern Cal, and the total's 151.5. Both teams were very impressive in their openers, and I like Nova to get the W here, but that's a 5.5. I don't know. USC scares me, so I'm going to take USC catching 5.5 and over 151.5. The winners of tonight's 2 CBC tournament games and tomorrow's 2 games will meet Saturday, a few hours before the Final Four tips off. So check back in the comment section of this video right here, and I'll have my picks for you right there. Now, tomorrow night, we have the final game of the NIT tournament at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. And it should be a good one. Hinkle Fieldhouse, right? I mean, that's where Jimmy Chitwood hit the game-winning shot in the movie Hoosiers, right? To win the state championship. All right? UC Irvine, 3.5-point favorite over Chattanooga, and the total's 146.5. Both teams survived tough semifinal wins last night, and they advanced here, where I'm going to have to dance with the Mocs. I really, really don't have a choice. I like UC Irvine. I like what they've done this year. It's been nice. But Chattanooga plus 3.5 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me.
Let a kid, Earl. And while you're at it, might as well give me under 146.5 for the NIT. All right, now it's time for big boy basketball. All right, let's do this. And the Final Four tips off Saturday, 6:09 Eastern on CBS at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, where West Region champ Florida is a 2.5-point favorites over South Region champ Auburn, and the total is 159.5. After rolling to the SEC tournament title a few weeks ago, Florida took out Norfolk State in the opening round of the dance before being taken to the limit in round 2 by two-time defending champion Connecticut. But they snuck by. After rolling over Maryland in the Sweet 16, Florida trailed for most of the second half last weekend to Texas Tech before All-American guard Walter Clayton Jr. got hot. He brought the Gators back to lead them to the Final Four, where they meet up with a familiar foe. Auburn lost to Tennessee in the SEC semis, but hasn't really been tested in the NCAAs. Alabama State, Creighton, and Michigan were all bounced by the Tigers, and Michigan State was game in the Elite Eight, but Auburn's best player had a huge game, and Sparty had no answer for Janai Broome, even after he got injured. These two teams proved, again, what we've seen all season. And that's that the SEC's the best conference, and it ain't real freaking close. Florida beat Auburn in their one and only meeting this year in the jungle, the day before the Super Bowl. And this one shouldn't disappoint at all. Florida head coach Todd Golden did a masterful job in the transfer portal. And he's got his Gators in the Final Four in his first year, while Auburn's Bruce Pearl has his Tigers back in the Final Four for the second time, making this a great coaching matchup. All right, the star power is out, and it all comes down to which school handles the pressure. Both teams bring pressure, and the athleticism in this game is absolutely off the charts. Both teams are deep, but Florida's deeper. Broome and Clayton are going to get theirs. But this game is going to be decided by Tahad Pettiford, Elijah Martin, Chad Baker-Mazzara, Alex Condon. Those are just a few of the players. All right? Broome isn't healthy. And as of today, still hasn't practiced yet. He's obviously going to give it a go. And I don't think it matters either way, because 75% of Janai Broome is still capable of 20 and 10. While I like Auburn's shooters more than Florida's, the Gator depth is just too much here. And every time they struggle with a win, they come back and roll. So I'm going to roll with Florida here, lay the 2.5 and under 159.5. That's a big number, 159.5. The second national semifinal is a half hour after the first and is scheduled for 8:49 Eastern on CBS, as Duke is 5.5-point chalk versus Houston, and the total's 136.5. Duke ripped through the East region with wins over Mount St. Mary's, Baylor, Arizona, and Alabama, with only Arizona making the Blue Devils sweat just a little bit. The talent on this squad is ridiculous, with Cooper Flagg leading the way. But he's so good that he doesn't have to go for 30 in order for Duke to win. Tyrese Proctor, Con Kneppel, Sion James, and Cayman Malawach are all-stars in their own right. And they've all delivered in this tournament. Now, Houston, they won the Big 12 tournament and followed it up by taking out SIU Edwardsville, Gonzaga, Purdue, and Tennessee the last 2 weekends. Tied with Purdue with only a few seconds left on the clock in the Sweet 16, the Cougars ran a masterful out-of-bounds play that got Milos Uzan a layup with less than a second left. That was the only time Houston was even remotely challenged, and they blew out a good Tennessee squad in the Elite Eight behind head coach Calvin Sampson's trademark lockdown defense. L.J. Cryer, Manuel Sharp, Uzan, Juwan Roberts, they headline the nation's #1 defense that just stifles really good offenses. Well, they're going to have their work cut out for them Saturday against this Duke team. They have 6 different players, all capable of reaching double figures. Duke's defense is a top 10 nationally ranked unit as well. And while they're capable of keeping Houston from lighting it up, the question of this game comes down to how well Houston's defense controls Duke's efficient scorers. Houston shoots it well, better than Duke for that case. But the Cougars' bread and butter is their physicality and rebounding, especially on the offensive end. Can Cooper Flagg survive the defense that Kelvin Sampson devises to slow him down? And if he can't, can the other Blue Devils step in and fill it up? I've liked Florida and Houston all year and have routinely called them the best teams in the nation, so I have no reason to deviate from that plan now. I'm on Houston here, catching 5.5 and under 136.5. While you're at it, go ahead and sprinkle a little something on that money line.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
Not a kid, Earl. There you have it. That's it. Both sides and totals of the Final Four to go along with 5 of the other tournament sides and totals, giving me a total of 16 plays. Make sure to check back Saturday morning before the Final Four to get those college basketball crown picks. And Sunday, I will post the final Stoniecast of the year, of the season, I should say, until August, number 174. And I'll have my selections there for the national championship game on Monday night. So until then, just remember, if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. Do you want to win or do you want to make money? You decide. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch. Final Four, baby. I know you would be loving this. Take us home, Theodore.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.